Hey, I'm the Kevbo, the bartender of PubClub.com, and I am here at REV Studio, really cool spot in La Jolla, California. We got a great setup today because what we're going to do, we're going to do a live taste testing of the Mount Gay XO rum. Now, I have never had this before, and I know that Mount Gay is very, very big in the sailing community, so I have with me Mark Strube, who not only loves Mount Gay, but Mark also is a seasoned skipper, and as you can see, he's participated in many Mount Gay regattas. Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Now, how anxious are you to have some of this rum?
I've been waiting for this all week.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for about a week. So what we have here, we have just basically, this is a high-end sipping type of rum. So we have glasses here to sip the rum, and we also have them on the rocks here. And what we'll do is we have them on this big piece of ice because what happens sometimes with high-end liquors is if you put it on ice, and I always thought that it would dilute it, but actually if you stir it around, it actually brings out the full flavor of the certain spirit. So that's why we have this. And of course, because we're PubClub.com, I've got to have my Luau Larry Pub Club special boat drink cocktail. So we have to have that because otherwise I can't have rum unless I have it in this drink. It's orange juice and it's a mix of also some guava juice. So if you ever want really good rum, never mix it with a Coke.
Mango?
It's mango, yeah.
Oh, mango. Okay.
Yeah, mango. But never mix it with Coke. You don't want to waste good rum by mixing it with Coke. You want to do it in with juice. And I like orange juice, pineapple juice, a little too sweet in my opinion. Now, before we have this, we're going to learn a little bit about this rum. So hang on, we are going to do the live taste test. The Mount Gay XO rum, it says for more than 300 years, it's been crafting deeply aromatic and rich rums on the northern tip of Barbados. Now, this particular rum is a selection of extra old rums distilled in traditional copper, pot, and column stills and matured in American whiskey, bourbon, and cognac cask. And it's been aged for anywhere from 5 to 17 years.
That's a long time.
Now, are you really anxious to try this?
Waited 17 years.
Waited 17 years to try this. So, Mark, here we go.
All right.
Our live taste test.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, wow. Now, I find that extremely smooth.
Very smooth, yeah.
There is absolutely zero burn going down, which I kind of anticipated with some of these types of higher-end spirits. It's hitting just a tad now as it makes its way down. I don't know about you, but
A little bit.
but it's a very, very smooth. It's how would you describe the flavor? I find it just rich in flavor.
Very rich in flavor. Like you said, it's been potentially aged in bourbon, whiskey, and cognac, the three. So it's a lot of different flavors that are in there.
It's a lot of different flavors, and they work together, and we can tell you that it's extremely, extremely high quality rum. This is not something that you're going to whip out at a Jimmy Buffett concert in the parking lot. That would be great to have at a Buffett show, but that's more volume than sipping. So
Right.
it's an excellent sipping rum. Now let's try it here, and as my friend Tom at BourbonBlog.com taught me, you swirl this around, and it brings out even more aromas and flavors in a fine spirit. So we'll try this. I said before, I thought it diluted it. I couldn't understand why people in a bar would be doing this, why bartenders would be doing this. And I would see someone drink some whiskey. Now I know. So cheers.
Is that the flavor? Cheers. Even smoother.
It is even smoother. It's colder, which gives it a different kind of texture on the tongue and it going down, but I didn't feel hardly anything going down now. Now, I do feel a little on my tongue. I can really still taste it on my tongue, which is not a bad aftertaste, but it's a very flavorful aftertaste.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, tastes very good.
Excellent. Well, now let's try the Luau Larry inspired Pub Club cocktail. And these are not what I call a tourist version. There's two different versions. Like if you're not used to drinking a lot of rum, then you give someone the tourist version.
Yeah.
This is not the tourist version.
This is the expert version.
This is the professional
the pro version. Okay.
And that is really, really good.
Very good.
That is
Concoction.
outstanding. We're going to be having a few of those after the show, folks.
Good job of mixing.
Thank you. So now you got some trophies here. Can you explain your sailing trophies?
Well, a couple of them here I brought out were one was a European championship. back in 2006, my skipper Mark Mendelblatt and I went to Neustadt, Germany, and won the Europeans. One of them's a Kiel Week trophy, which is sort of an Olympic class trophy that's in northern Germany as well. And then this was just kind of a cool trophy that the Starboat class, they come up with all kinds of different, types of trophies. So I just brought a couple of them out here. This is what I do. I race for stuff like that, and I also race for, go to different regattas for the Mount Gay hats. And I've got about 20 Mount Gay hats sitting over there. We grabbed a San Diego one and an Antigua one. Those are a couple of my favorite regattas. So.
Well, no, I could be wrong, but I believe it's a rule that if you're a skipper on a boat, you've got to have one of these red Mount Gay hats. Is that correct?
Well, when you go to the regattas, the skippers always get a Mount Gay hat. A lot of times they'll give you one more, and one of the crew will get it. So
okay.
They're in high demand. Mount Gay hats are definitely in high demand. So.
Every skipper or boat owner I've ever known has had one of these Mount Gay hats somewhere on their chart table or somewhere in the boat. So they're synonymous with sailing.
And when you walk around, the street, if you see somebody with a Mount Gay hat on, you know that they're a sailor.
That's a great point.
Bring up some conversations. Back when I was doing a lot of Mount Gay regattas, this was like in the late '90s, early 2000s. They had sponsored Key West Race Week, and Key West Race Week was it was 300 boats, all different classes. And they would have the Mount Gay tent, and that was
the place you wanted to go.
That was the place you wanted to go. You had the daily awards there, you had the hat giveaways, you had 500 people inside of a tent, and just reminiscing the day, telling stories, how you did this and how this guy could have done this, and you get a lot of it's called yachty karate when guys are doing this kind of stuff. We were on starboard tack and then he tacked on it, and so a lot of good stories at the Mount Gay tent.
Well, that's freaking awesome. I don't know about you, but this is starting to very subtly feel the alcohol effect on it. It doesn't hit you right away. I don't know. Well, you're bigger than I am.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to feel just a little bit of the alcohol in it. I mean, not bad, not anything like falling off a chair bad.
Feeling good.
But I'm starting to feel good, and it's taken a small delayed effect rather than just kind of slamming something where you get that real quick effect. So so it's a very soothing rum.
It is.
And see, Mark's going back for the cocktail here.
We're back for seconds here.
And Mark is also currently here in San Diego, is the co-skipper, I guess, of an America's Cup boat that is chartered out here in San Diego. It's called SailUSA.com. And what they do is they can actually get on one of the boats that was in the America's Cup here in San Diego in the 1990. Can you explain that a little?
Yeah, so Sail San Diego has the two 1992 generation International America's Cup class boats, and they charter those out. And you can get up to 24 people, I believe, or 25 people on Stars and Stripes. And they also have private
Sailed
charters.
by Dennis Conner, by the way.
That one was
if
sailed
you don't
by
know sailing, you know Dennis Conner.
Yeah, so that was sailed by Dennis Conner in 1992. And then the other one was also a 1992 generation boat called Il Moro that was skippered by Paul Cayard for the Italians. So those two boats are here. And the Il Moro boat is being chartered right now, but the Stars and Stripes, unfortunately, they broke their rig a couple weeks ago, and they're still looking for a solution to get the boat back sailing. But it'll happen. It'll come sailing again.
It's in San Pedro now, and may go out of. You may do sailing charters out of Long Beach. Is that correct?
I think once the mast gets repaired, they'll probably come back to San Diego.
Okay.
It's just logistically, it's a lot easier to sail out here, and there's the bay, and up there you'd basically be straight out into the ocean. So works better down in the bay.
I've been there. I've done PR for the Transpac.
Oh, okay.
The Trans-Pacific Yacht Race, which is 2,200 miles from Long Beach to Hawaii.
Yeah,
Hawaii. And there's something, you won a barn door.
Yeah. I did the race in 2013 on a 75-foot boat, and we won the barn door trophy. We finished in 7.5 days and averaged like a little over 14 knots. So that was a pretty quick trip.
And how much Mount Gay did you have after that? After winning the barn door?
We had bottles.
We had bottles. We had casket. We actually had
a whole barrel
of it. Well, great. And how can people sign up for the charter here?
They could go to SailUSA11.com and check the availability online. They typically go out on weekends and occasionally a Tuesday or Thursday during the week. But if you've got a private charter, a family, you can have the whole boat to yourself.
Well, PubClub.com has been on it. The Pub Clubettes have been on it.
Yes.
Not all of them, but Christina, if she's watching it, she's like, I won't on it. So Christina, you will get on the boat. It's a fantastic experience. It's 3 hours to the bay. Mark actually, when he's at the Skipper, he goes up literally like right next to the new restaurant that's open, this beautiful glass restaurant that's open called Portside Pier. Mark goes right up, if this were it, he goes right up next to it, so close you could almost reach out and
High five everybody.
Yeah, or, you know, these days,
Elbow.
elbow or fist bump people. So Mark gets right up to it, and I remember going there with him one time, and people came off their tables and were running up to the edge and taking videos and photos and stuff of us. I went in the next day and said, hey, did you see that big sailboat that came by the other day? And the waiter said, everybody saw that big sailboat that came by the other day. So
Can't miss it.
I was thrilled to be a part of it. Well, Mark, let's have another sip of the Mount Gay. Which one are you going to go for?
I'll finish off this one here.
I'm going to do that too. And there's one thing that I forgot to do that my friend Tom of Bergenblock taught me. You're doing it properly now. You swirl it around, you take a sip, and then you swish it around inside of your mouth. And that's sort of the equivalent of having the ice cube in it, because it brings out even more flavor, if that's possible. Oh, look at it. So much for sipping.
Yeah, very smooth.
Wow, that goes down so.
like-
Well, that goes down so. That goes down so.
Oh, not at all. That
Wow,
tastes really good.
Mount Gay XO. So you can go and find that in fine liquor stores and fine bars that serve good liquors and rum. And I would highly recommend Mount Gay XO. I'm so thrilled too that we've got so much. The bottle's so big that even all this left a lot of Mount Gay rum for us to finish off. Not the rest of today, but
Well, it depends on how long you want to stay.
depends on how long. I don't know. The fine folks at REV Studio, it's REV Studio in La Jolla, California. It's REV Studio
SD.com.
SD. Let's say that again, please.
RevStudioSD.com.
Okay, and they have the picture of the Mark actually sailing behind us. So if you can
me
see
back
Mark,
behind
that's
there.
him stretch. What are you doing there, by the way?
Here, I'll step off. So right here, I'm, you know, as you can see, I'm just laying on the. I'm turning around to see if I can see. I'm laying on the boat, going forward and back to try to catch the waves. So a lot of times when you're on a sailboat like this, it's a lot like a surfboard, where when you get over the top of the wave, you want to move your body forward so you can go downhill, so to speak.
Is that like the guys with their feet off the edge when you see
Yeah,
the
like-
America's Cup? Is
Yeah,
that
like
kind of
hanging
what that is?
10. Yeah.
Yeah. And you told me actually sailing one time you to find the wind, you actually look at the water in front of you because you can tell. Can you explain that a little?
Yeah, so you look at the water and you kind of look at which way the ripples are going on the water. If there's less than 4 knots, it takes, you won't really see much in the way of any ripples at all. About 3 to 4 knots, that's when the wind can actually break the surface tension of the water and you see little ripples. But you just look at the waves, and if a darker spot of water comes, that's usually a puff of wind. So you look for those puffs and you try to connect the dots and sail to the puffs.
And is that your big secret for sailing, or is there
Yeah,
there one secret you want to tell the Mount Gay world here?
Well, just, you know, you've got to feel the wind. You've got to know where it's coming from, and try to sail on the lifted tacks and avoid the headed tacks,
And duck when the boom comes over.
duck when the boom comes over. Don't get hit in the head. They call it a boom for the reason.
That does not happen in America's Cup boat because it's so high. What's the sail? It's like 85 feet tall or something crazy like that?
Yeah, the main sail is 100 feet
100 feet.
luff length, and the boom's about 33 feet long. And the whole boat's 80 feet long and weighs 50,000 pounds. So that generation were pretty big boats with a big chunk of lead at the bottom. The America's Cup boats nowadays are foiling monohulls, so they're doing 30 to 40 knots upwind and 40 to 50 knots downwind, and they're basically sails are trimmed in the whole time, and they're just up out of the water and very quiet, but a lot of wind in your face.
And a good time to drink Mount Gay rum is when the America's Cup, I believe, is in 2021 if it's scheduled, if everything's right. Is that in March or something? What's the details on that? Do you know?
I believe it's in March. It's in New Zealand, so that's sort of the tail end of their summertime. And they're going to have some racing against the other teams. There's the British are in there, the Italians are in there, the Americans are in there, and obviously New Zealand, who's the challenger or the defender, is in there as well. So the challengers are going to all race each other to see who gets to challenge the defender, which is Team New Zealand.
New Zealand's the defender. Okay. Well, this is some fine. Is Barbados in there? Or are they too busy drinking rum?
Barbados is not in there. Yeah, one interesting fact about Barbados is, it's the oldest rum in the world, right? The distillery is over 300 years old. But also, one thing that I found out was the island itself of Barbados is basically one of the only islands in the Caribbean that is it's a coral island. So in other words, when they get their spring waters, it's kind of filtered, so the waters is better, and it shows in the quality of the product.
Wow, that's not in my press notes. Wow, Mark here knows this.
I learned,
But
yeah.
now, I will say when I first met Mark, I'm like, well, look, I'm a rum guy. I'm like, what kind of rum do you like? You didn't hesitate. You said
Mount Gay.
Mount Gay. So when I told him I had this bottle coming in, and particularly as associated with Mount Gay as a sailing, there was no question that I wanted Mark here to join me. And I will say that the PubClub.com philosophy on sailing and boats is that you never race because it knocks over the blender.
What?
Racing will knock over the blender, but with this you don't need a blender.
No,
You do not want the you don't want this bottle spilling around inside the salon or anything. So anyway, that's our show here. That's our live taste testing of Mount Gay XO rum. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get some Mount Gay XO rum. If you have any questions, just go to PubClub.com. There's a good story, by the way, on the first person experience of going on the America's Cup sailboats here in San Diego. So go to PubClub.com for that. Go to PubClub.com's YouTube page. You can find this also. And we're actually live now on Twitter, which is @PubClub. We're going to do a little quick TikTok video here in a second. And I would say, Mark.
I've never done one of those, but
Well, you're about to.
looking forward to it.
All right.
Have
Well,
a couple
cheers.
more of these.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot more of these, particularly with the fine staff that's here at REV Studio. So all I can say is, Salud. Bottoms up. That is good. Very good. That is very good. I don't know if I like it better straight, or I think I might like it in the ice better.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Wow,
But straight up is definitely is nice.
that is very good. Of course, the cocktails are great as well.